Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello, WWE wrestling fans. Welcome to WWE Hell in a Cell 2022 recap. I'm your host, WWE fanboy Alex Cardinale, and thank you for joining me here on the Hell in a Cell 2022 recap. Hell in a Cell is one of my favorite matches and one of my favorite premium events that WWE puts out each and every year. Now, this year, Hell in a Cell took place in June, and traditionally, Hell in a Cell takes place in either October or September. But I was pretty interested in seeing Hell in a Cell taking place here early in June. So Hell in a Cell took place this past Sunday in Chicago, and it was a great premium event. Now, I will say this year's Hell in a Cell event was dominated by Monday Night Raw. Almost all of the matches, except for one, were all contested from the Monday Night Raw brand. Now, originally, Ronda Rousey was scheduled to be at WWE Hell in a Cell, but crybabies Sasha Banks and Naomi really screwed up the Hell in a Cell card when they left WWE because they were scheduled to face Bianca Belair. Naomi was scheduled to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. And Sasha Banks was scheduled to face Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. But because Sasha Banks and Naomi took their bag and went home and left, WWE had to come up with a whole new plan for Hell in a Cell. And ultimately, they decided to make Hell in a Cell almost 99% a Monday Night Raw exclusive premium event. The only match that SmackDown had this Sunday was Madcap Moss taking on Happy Corbin in a no disqualification match, which was a decent match, but I feel that SmackDown was very, very poorly represented at Hell in a Cell this year. And SmackDown is the A show. SmackDown is the A brand. While most people think of Raw as the main brand because they have Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, it's actually SmackDown because SmackDown's on Fox and they've got Roman Reigns, Ronda Rousey, and some other awesome stars. So, anyway, tonight I am going to do a complete recap and review of WWE Hell in a Cell. I'm going to offer my thoughts, I'm going to give it a grade, and then towards the end of the show, we'll look forward to Money in the Bank and I'll talk about the latest WWE news and rumors. So I'm going to be honest, heading into WWE Hell in a Cell, my expectations for this being a good pay-per-view were really low. I wasn't really even excited to watch it. I wasn't really interested, but me being a lifelong WWE fan, I'll watch even if I'm not really interested in the card. And what happened this weekend is really unorthodox when you think about it because it usually doesn't happen. But heading into the event, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, suffered a serious pectoral injury, and normally in ordinary circumstances, he would not be allowed to compete. But since he tore it completely, he could not do any further damage. So he wanted to compete, and I'm glad he did. It was a great main event, a great Hell in a Cell match, even with the injury. And I have nothing but respect for Cody Rhodes and his old school way of thinking. That's the way The Undertaker operated and some of the other old school legends. They didn't care if they were injured. They were going to go out there and put on a show and entertain all the fans that spent their hard earned money to watch superstars perform. So my hat's off to Cody Rhodes for that. All right. So, WWE fans, what are your thoughts on WWE Hell in a Cell 2022? Let me know in the comments. What would you grade Hell in a Cell 2022? And what were your favorite matches from this year's Hell in a Cell event? Let me know in the comments. Having said that, let's go ahead and get this show started. And let's go over the match card for this past Sunday's Hell in a Cell event. So, Bianca Belair defended her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka and Becky Lynch. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match. Bobby Lashley took on the team of Omos and MVP. Kevin Owens took on Ezekiel in Ezekiel's first ever premium event match. The Judgment Day tag team consisting of Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley took on the team of AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan in a six-person mixed tag team match. The only SmackDown match for the event was Madcap Moss taking on Happy Corbin in a no holds barred match, which is technically a no disqualification match. And the only other championship match for this year's Hell in a Cell was a match for the United States Championship where Theory defended his United States title against Mustafa Ali. And the only match that was contested inside Hell in a Cell this year was the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes taking on Seth friggin' Rollins for the third time inside Hell in a Cell. And I believe this is the first Hell in a Cell in a couple of years to only have one Hell in a Cell match because the previous Hell in a Cell matches or Hell in a Cell events had at least two or three. But I do like the philosophy of having one big feud inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell premium event because you tell a bigger story that way, you have a bigger payoff that way, and you can have Hell in a Cell matches all throughout the year at different pay-per-views like in Saudi Arabia or in the United Kingdom when they do the Clash at the Castle, etc. So those are the matches that took place this Sunday or this past Sunday at WWE Hell in a Cell. So let's get into the Hell in a Cell match results. I'm going to go over the results for WWE Hell in a Cell. So the opening match this past Sunday was Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka and Becky Lynch. And Bianca Belair successfully defended her title and she retained the Raw Women's Championship. So Bianca Belair defeated Asuka and Becky Lynch by pinfall. Bobby Lashley defeated Omos and MVP by submission. Cedric Alexander interfered in the match. He was trying to distract Bobby Lashley, or he was trying to distract Omos. It appears that Cedric Alexander turned babyface in this match as he cost Omos and MVP the match. Bobby Lashley would deliver a spear to Omos and lock MVP in the Hurt Lock for the win. So Bobby Lashley defeated Omos and MVP by submission. Kevin Owens defeated Ezekiel. So Ezekiel's first ever pay-per-view debut was not successful. And truth be told, I did not see this match as I was feeding my tropical fish. So I missed this match, but in the end, Kevin Owens got the victory. The Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley defeated AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan by pinfall. And the Judgment Day heading into Hell in the Cell is no longer the same now, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. Madcap Moss defeated Happy Corbin in a no holds barred match. And this match was much better than I anticipated, and I'm glad that it was better than I thought it would be. Austin Theory defeated Mustafa Ali to retain the United States Championship. And in the main event, Cody Rhodes defeated Seth friggin' Rollins by pinfall. Now, Cody Rhodes suffered a extreme injury prior to Hell in the Cell, and he still competed inside the dangerous structure. My hat's off to Cody Rhodes for even stepping inside Hell in a Cell with a pectoral injury. He completely tore the bone off his pecs. That is absolutely painful. But fortunately for Cody Rhodes, once you suffer that kind of damage, you can't really do any more damage. So at that point, it's pain control and pain management. And that is why Vince McMahon and the WWE team allowed Cody Rhodes to go out there and perform. And perform he did. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins put on an awesome Hell in a Cell match. And Cody Rhodes was not anywhere near 100%. If this Cody Rhodes performs like this at 50%, imagine what he could do at 100%. So I, for one, hope that we see a championship run for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He definitely deserves it. An awesome return at WrestleMania, a great opening matchup at WrestleMania Backlash, and then a great Hell in a Cell match at less than 100% with a torn pec. He and Rollins were able to deliver a great match. And credit goes to Seth Rollins as well. You've got to give credit to your dance partner. And I don't think Cody Rhodes could have a better dance partner than Seth Rollins. Although Rollins does have a history of injuring others. For example, Sting. For example, Finn Balor, and a couple of other superstars. But over the years, Seth Rollins has gotten safer in the ring, and the fact that he did not cause further injury to Cody Rhodes is a credit to his ability in the ring now. So those are the results for WWE Hell in the Cell 2022. Once again, Bianca Belair walks out of Hell in the Cell as the Raw Women's Champion. Bobby Lashley got the victory. Kevin Owens got the victory. The Judgment Day got the victory. Madcap Moss got the victory. Theory got the victory. And Cody Rhodes ended up getting the victory as well. Now, as much as this pay-per-view had to change because of one, Sasha Banks, and one, Naomi, deciding that they were going to be totally unprofessional and basically take their ball, cry, and go home because they were booked to face their respective women's champions. And by God, can someone tell me why it is bad to put on a clinic against Bianca Belair and Ronda Rousey at a premium event? And why it is bad that you're telling a story and you're not getting the victory? In WWE and professional wrestling, it's not always about winning. It's about telling a story and putting on classic matches. So I think Sasha Banks and Naomi needed to be more professional, and I think they needed to consider that they're contracted to the WWE, and if Vince wants them to perform with the women's champions, then they need to. It's not a God given right for them to hold the women's tag team championships. They were given the privilege and the honor to become the women's tag team champions at WrestleMania. And if Vince and WWE decides that he doesn't want you to defend the titles at this event, you have to agree with him. And you've got to do what the company wants you to do, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that sign your paychecks. Now you're sitting at home suspended, not getting a dime because you decided to be hard to play with, and now you're paying the consequences. And maybe your stock in WWE going forward diminishes. But that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, despite them not being on the card whatsoever, and the fact that they had to come up with a whole new card and basically becoming a Monday Night Raw premium event, it was reported by WWE themselves that this year's Hell in the Cell was the most watched Hell in the Cell event in WWE history. That is incredible. So kudos to WWE for this year's Hell in a Cell, for becoming the most watched Hell in a Cell in WWE history. That is awesome, and it goes to show you that we are dominating AEW. We got more pay-per-view sales than their flagship show, All Out, or whatever pay-per-view that they just recently had. So very, very happy for WWE. All right, so right now I want to talk about the best matches of the evening for WWE Hell in a Cell. The first best match that I'm going to talk about that I think was really good was the opening match. And it was a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Asuka, they went out there, they told the story, and they got fans interested in the Hell in a Cell event. Now, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Asuka really fought hard, and throughout the match, I kind of had the feeling, oh, Bianca's going to either lose to Becky or Asuka, and there's going to be an Asuka and Becky Lynch feud heading into SummerSlam and over the summer. But in the end, Bianca Belair was able to come back and get the victory. And now, moving forward from Hell in the Cell, I think the picture that is being painted is that at SummerSlam, it's going to be Becky Lynch challenging Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. And we're going to get a fair one-on-one match between Becky and Bianca at SummerSlam. So we're going to get Becky and Bianca 2 at SummerSlam this year, and it'll be a normal match. There will be no surprise factors heading into this match. I think at Money in the Bank, though, we will get that one-on-one match between Becky and Asuka, and I think that's where Becky will get a victory. I think Becky will take care of Asuka at Money in the Bank. But this match had a lot of great moments, a lot of near falls, a great story was told in the ring, and that's why I think it was one of the better Raw Women's Championship matches that I've seen in recent history. Over the past, I don't know, 6, 8 months prior to SummerSlam of last year, Raw Women's Division was kind of lacking, but now Bianca Belair is getting time to shine as the Raw Women's Champion, and I'm starting to like where her championship run is going. I'm hoping that WWE will give her a lengthy run and only have someone that is deserving take the title from her. And the last match that I really enjoyed and actually is the best match of the night, in my personal opinion, surprisingly, is the main event between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in a Hell in a Cell match. So, like I said throughout the show, Cody Rhodes suffered a torn pec prior to the match. And right there is an example of what a torn pec looks like. And all throughout the Hell in a Cell match, there was people posting on social media that this was a fake injury and that was paint. But I can assure you it is not fake. It was 100% real. And unfortunately, this means that Cody Rhodes' in-ring career will be halted for at least 4 to 6 months. I did a research on how long it takes torn pecs to heal, and there really isn't like a time frame. It really depends on who does the surgery, how torn it is, and how well the person reacts to healing. So it could vary. It really depends on the individual. John Cena returned in close to 3 to 4 months, and Triple H was able to compete at WrestleMania after suffering a torn pec at Crown Jewel, which happened in November. And he was able to actually compete at WrestleMania just a short few months later. So Cody Rhodes could definitely come back in a shorter time span than 6 months. But regardless, just going out there and competing in a dangerous match like the Hell in the Cell with a torn pec commands a lot of respect, and he definitely gets it from me as a WWE fan. You know, I'm a fan of the old school wrestlers, guys like Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, guys where they don't care if they're injured. They're still going to go out there and put on a show and deliver to the fans, and they'll worry about their injury once the show's over. There are other superstars and wrestlers out there, like CM Punk, for example, perhaps the biggest crybaby and quitter in the history of pro wrestling, who, if he suffered an injury such as Cody Rhodes, he would bolt out of the arena and not even think about competing. So my hat's off to Cody Rhodes for going out there and putting on a show. And you know, Vince McMahon is a guy that has the mindset of respect. He loves old school mind thinkers. He loves wrestlers that think old school, who think about going out there, putting on the best show possible. So I think Cody Rhodes did the right thing. I think he impressed not only Vince McMahon, but everyone backstage. And I think he's only going to do great things for Cody's career. I think when Cody comes back, he's going to get a big main event push. He'll probably win the Royal Rumble, and then he'll probably get his championship win at WrestleMania. Very, very good and very smart on behalf of Cody Rhodes. Now, the match itself was much better than I anticipated. I thought because of the injury, it was going to be like a short 8 to 10 minute match, but they actually went the full 25 minutes, which is very surprising. It had a lot of back and forth action. I like that Cody Rhodes went back to the Rhodes family roots and used the cowbell, I think it's called, or the bull rope, whatever. I remember back in 2007 when Randy Orton took on Dusty Rhodes in a bull rope match. So that brought back a lot of memories for me. And so seeing that and seeing Cody Rhodes nail Seth Rollins with the cowbell was pretty awesome. Also, the fact that Cody Rhodes was able to utilize the pedigree was awesome because Cody Rhodes has admitted that Triple H has always been a favorite wrestler of his. So him being able to execute a pedigree was like a awesome moment for me as a WWE fan. And him getting a victory after countless near falls. I thought Seth Rollins was going to get the victory in this match, but they made Cody Rhodes look strong. Now, to all the people that are saying that Seth Rollins has been jobbed out or he's jobbing or he's been booked to look like a failure, I do not think so. He is a heel. Heels are not supposed to win every single feud or every match for that matter. Let's look at what happened over the last couple of months. Seth Rollins had the element of surprise at WrestleMania, and he was able to deliver Cody Rhodes. That's a great moment. He opens a pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash, with a classic match against Cody Rhodes. And then at Hell in the Cell, they put together an instant classic despite having limitations from an injury. So I think the future is bright for both these superstars. I think moving forward, WWE is probably going to put Seth Rollins maybe in like a title picture, or he'll face another up and coming face. And then when Rhodes comes back, he'll immediately be pushed into the title picture. He'll maybe have another match with Rollins, and I think Rollins will finally get a victory. I don't remember a time where a feud has ever been so one-sided, but I think Rollins will definitely get a victory against Cody Rhodes whenever Rhodes is cleared to compete. But yes, obviously, the best match for this year's Hell in the Cell was definitely Cody Rhodes and Seth frigging Rollins. So my favorite match from Hell in the Cell this year, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Hell in the Cell. That was my favorite match. And my final topic for the Hell in the Cell premium event this year, I'm going to go ahead and give my overall thoughts and grade. So, with this being a Monday Night Raw dominated premium event, I'm going to be honest, it did kind of feel like an ordinary episode of Raw, minus any promos, minus any backstage segments. However, the in-ring work was pretty good. I will give them that. They did have pretty good in-ring work. The show opener, the triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship, was phenomenal. It was much better than anticipated. I really didn't get to see much of Kevin Owens and Ezekiel because I was feeding my fish, but from what I heard, that match could have done a lot better for Ezekiel, so I really can't comment much on that. The mixed tag match between Judgment Day, Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest taking on Balor, Styles, and Liv Morgan was pretty good. I thought that was a great match. And then uh, we've got the SmackDown match, which was Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin, or Happy Corbin. That match was better than I thought it would be. I liked it. I think Happy Corbin is probably going to get a new character. I think the injury aspect from this match was to write off Happy Corbin for a couple of weeks. Maybe he'll come back better as a bigger, stronger, dominating heel where he's not so happy anymore. He just wants revenge. And he'll come back for a face, Madcap Moss. Austin Theory's match against Mustafa Ali was pretty good. Not a fan of Mustafa Ali, but I got to give him credit. He had the hometown behind him. But unfortunately, Vince McMahon just has too much stock right now in Theory. So he had no chance in hell of becoming the new United States champion, unfortunately. And then, of course, Bobby Lashley match was what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a match where Lashley would win with help from somebody, and that help came from Cedric Alexander. And lastly, the main event was great. When Vince McMahon says that a Hell in a Cell main event is a classic, you know it's a great match. So, with all that being considered, and the fact that WWE advertised Ronda Rousey and she did not appear, I would still say it was a good pay per view, but it really did need another SmackDown match. Even if it felt rushed, like maybe 48 hours, I still think this pay per view could have benefited from Ronda Rousey and Natalya having a match. Even if it was a squash victory for Ronda Rousey, you make SmackDown look better by having two matches on the brand or on the premium event, and at least they have one championship match. That would be the only reason that I'm not giving Hell in the Cell this year anything close to an A. So, Hell in the Cell 2022, while it did great views and got great ratings, and is the most watched Hell in the Cell, for me personally, even though it had great in ring action, the lack of SmackDown stars makes me give it a B plus. That's still great for a premium event this day and age. And the blame primarily goes to Sasha Banks and Naomi because whatever plans WWE had for this event were ruined the moment that they walked out. So it's not their fault. But having said that, it's a well-deserved B plus. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I thought I would like watch some of it. I'd get bored and go to sleep and get ready for work the next day. But I stayed up, watched the whole event, and I'm glad I did because that Hell in a Cell match between injured Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins was nothing short of awesome. Great job, WWE. And I look forward to next year's Hell in a Cell, where hopefully it will be represented by Raw and SmackDown. All right. So moving forward, now that WWE Hell in a Cell 2022 is in the rear view mirror and we're all done with it, now it's time to move into Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Clash at the Castle. The three other big pay per views of the year. Why is Money in the Bank so important? Well, a man and a woman will earn the right to challenge for a main event championship. I can't wait till Money in the Bank in a couple of weeks. And then SummerSlam's taking place at the end of July this year. And I love the new SummerSlam logo. And I can't wait to see Clash at the Castle in September. That's going to be amazing as well. So the Raw after Hell in a Cell, Raw last night had some incredible surprises. Cody Rhodes came out and basically announced he was looking forward to Money in the Bank, and he kind of left like a cliffhanger, like he was going to be able to participate in the Money in the Bank. And then out of nowhere, Seth Rollins came out, and what I thought was a babyface turn for Seth Rollins because he shook Cody Rhodes' hand, but it was a well laid out trap or plan because as Cody Rhodes was exiting, Seth Rollins came out with a sledgehammer and began attacking Cody Rhodes, which basically pretty much wrote off Cody Rhodes off WWE television. So that means that Cody Rhodes will probably not be at Money in the Bank, and I would be damn well surprised if he is. However, I would welcome the idea of maybe a Brock Lesnar repeat, but this time done by a baby face and done by Cody Rhodes, where he comes out when someone's incapacitated and he wins the Money in the Bank. I would totally be for that because he doesn't have to compete for a while, and he can even come back as Mr. Money in the Bank when he's ready to compete again. That would be pretty cool. But I don't think that would probably happen, but I would welcome it. So, yeah, on Raw last night, it pretty much summed up that Rhodes will be gone from WWE at least for the near future. Also, last night on Raw, the Judgment Day got a new member, and Finn Balor turned heel and joined the Judgment Day. But what shocked a lot of wrestling fans is the fact that the Judgment Day kicked out the founding member, Edge, and they attacked him. And now the Judgment Day is just left to Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley. So that has a lot of people wondering, why did they do that? What is this going to lead to? Well, now that's going to lead to my latest WWE news and rumors. A rumor going around is that Edge's contract for in-ring work is coming up really soon. And Edge stated when he returned at the Royal Rumble 2020 that he wanted programs with Roman Reigns, he wanted programs with Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor. Well, he got a program with Reigns, he had a program with Randy Orton, he had a program with AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. So the only feud he believes he has left is Finn Balor. So Edge is now a babyface on Monday Night Raw, and Edge will be the babyface taking Cody Rhodes' spot temporarily. And the rumor going around is that Edge will be feuding with Finn Balor. They're going to have 3 matches most likely. The first will be at SummerSlam. The second will probably be at Clash at the Castle. And the third will probably be at Crown Jewel. And maybe Crown Jewel is where Edge will end his in-ring career. They could possibly extend this feud into WrestleMania, where Edge will retire with a victory over Balor, similar to what they did with Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin a number of years back. So that's the rumor going around with Edge. He wants to get out before he overstays his welcome, and he wrestles too many matches. So I think he really wants to call it a career by the end of 2023. So I know as sad as it sounds, he only was back for a couple of years, but I think he realizes his time is coming up where he needs to hang his boots up for good. And maybe he could be like a commentator or something. That is one of the rumors going around. Another rumor going around for Money in the Bank is that Roman Reigns will be defending the championships, and it'll be against Riddle. So it looks like the summer plans are locked, and at Money in the Bank, it's going to be Reigns versus Riddle. Another rumor, and this is just a rumor at this point, is the main event for Money in the Bank will be a triple threat match, and it'll be Reigns against Riddle and Bobby Lashley. Lashley was posing with championships, and it looks like Vince is again trying to book him into a strong contender. So that either leaves the Money in the Bank main event as a one-on-one match between Reigns and Riddle, or a triple threat between Reigns, Riddle, and Lashley. And then at SummerSlam, it's rumored to be Reigns versus Randy Orton. And then obviously at Clash at the Champion, it will be, or excuse me, at Clash at the Castle, it will be Reigns versus McIntyre. So that's the rumors for that. Other than that, there are no other rumors to report. There right now are no rumored Money in the Bank winners. So I'm looking forward to see who they pick. Me personally, I kind of want to see Drew McIntyre win it. Ideally, I would have loved Cody Rhodes to win it, but I think Drew McIntyre is the most logical person. That could be the way he challenges Reigns at Clash at the Castle and hopefully take the Universal Championship from him. And on the women's side, Uh, I I think Shayna Baszler deserves the victory in that match, or Raquel Gonzalez, one of those two. All right. I think that pretty much everything for recap. WWE fans, I thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Pro Wrestling 101. Now, we are going to be doing many episodes of Pro Wrestling 101 over the next few months. As a matter of fact, this month I have some special Money in the Bank shows coming your way. I'm going to talk about the 10 best Money in the Bank winners, the worst Money in the Bank winners, the best Money in the Bank matches of all time, and the best Money in the Bank cash-ins of all time. So from now until Money in the Bank, each and every week, you'll expect a Money in the Bank episode. It'll either be a live stream or an upload to my YouTube channel and my Pro Wrestling 101 playlist, but there will be a video, and it all starts this week. So either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, I will upload a video for Money in the Bank. And don't miss the Money in the Bank pre-show on Saturday, July 2nd at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, the Money in the Bank recap show will be either the Sunday after Money in the Bank or the Monday after Money in the Bank. We shall see. Also, this Friday, WWE and Pro Wrestling's Dirtiest Secrets airs its next episode. I'll be talking about the Monday Night Wars. So, WWE fans, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, to watch my previous Pro Wrestling 101 videos and my future and upcoming WWE videos. With that being said, make sure to tune in to Friday Night SmackDown this week to see what happens on SmackDown. Then after that, immediately after SmackDown, come to my YouTube channel to watch the latest episode of WWE and Pro Wrestling's Dirtiest Secrets. I'll see you next time. Stay safe and enjoy WWE Raw and SmackDown. Hey everyone, legendary Alex Cardinale here. And guess what? Together, you, my audience, and I are celebrating history once more this year. Can you guys believe that on June 12th, I will be celebrating my 700th video? Yes, that's right. June 12th, I will be hosting my 700th video. I remember my 500th and my 600th video like it was yesterday. You, the audience, make me put out these awesome videos and I lose count. I prefer quality over quantity, but in this case, quantity is quality. I'm enjoying hosting these videos for you. So I, legendary Alex Cardinale, am extremely proud to invite you to be a part of the 700th video celebration. It is going down live Sunday, June 12th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I cannot wait to host the 700th video. It is going to be a blast. Chef Alex Cardinale is going to be in the house, and he's going to be cooking and baking. Watch Chef Alex make a delicious homemade French onion soup. And for dessert, Chef Alex will teach you how to make creme brulee, a really delicious pudding-like dessert. So Chef Alex goes French for the 700th video, as he'll show you how to make a delicious French onion soup and creme brulee. That's going to be really delicious. You guys all know that I work at the Palm Beach Zoo. And something special that I'm doing to celebrate 700 videos. I am going to enter the lorikeet loft at Palm Beach Zoo and hand feed lorikeets on video for my 700th video. That is going to be fantastic and definitely legendary. Now, of course, you can't have a party without aquariums and tropical fish. And you can't talk about aquariums and tropical fish without the man himself, Aqua Alex. Aqua Alex will give you a tour of one of his favorite local fish stores. Plus, will Aqua Alex get new fish? And there may also be aquarium topics talked about by Aqua Alex Cardinale. Also, relive the best moments on this YouTube channel. I will play 7 of my best moments from my YouTube channel over the last 699 videos. There will also be other surprises. Will there be any legendary appearances? We shall find out. And who will be special guests if there are any special guests? Will there be a chef? Will there be a fish keeping guest? We will have to find out. So mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, and all my loyal subscribers. The legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel celebrates 700 videos live Sunday, June 12th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Come celebrate history, have some fun, and watch a fun celebration Sunday, June 12th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, everybody, for making this a possibility, and I look forward to my next party. I'll see you on the 700th video celebration party, June 12th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel.